Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and it is Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and Merry Christmas. And my next Zoom interview is with actor, filmmaker, director, and producer, Mr. Solomon Chertok. Let's take a look at this fabulous interview with a very fascinating individual, Mr. Solomon Chertok. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and happy holidays! Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and I'm here with actor, filmmaker, director, and producer, Mr. Solomon Chertok. Welcome to my show, Solomon. Welcome, and thank you for being a guest on Cognac's Corner. So let me just talk a little bit about you before we get into the questions. Since I know you, you have been involved in filmmaking. Tell my audience, where did this love of films and acting come from? Take us through that journey of why you decided to become an actor and a filmmaker.
Well, it has to be ever since my mother took me as a kid to see my first movie in a movie theater, which was Star Wars, the original, A New Hope. And believe it or not, I was born the day after that movie came out, except I didn't see it the day it came out. I actually saw it a couple of years later when it was re-released in, I think, 80 or 81. And I never will forget that experience of seeing that movie in the movie theater, because it basically, I was very scared being in a movie theater, especially when the lights closed down and I didn't know what was happening.
How old were you now? How old were you when this happened?
I think it was about 3 or 4 when I saw it, because it was around 80, 81.
Solomon, are you a Gemini?
Yes, I am.
You know what? I remember that because I remember your birthday was very close to my birthday, and I'm a Gemini. And that's exactly what happened to me. Basically, the same kind of story that you're telling me that you went to see. That was your first movie, Star Wars.
Yep, that was my first movie. I kind of joke with my mother because I was born on May 26th. The film came out May 25th, 1977. So I said, how come you didn't have me on the day that Star Wars came out? So she said, because she went to see the movie.
You know, I really believe in the numbers and our astrological signs and our birthdays and how it has a significance in us, in our personalities, and you know what we aspire to be. Because this is a very funny story. My father used to love the movies, and you know, I mean, my father used to go to the movies. He was born 1920. He used to go to the movies, and he would pay like, I don't know, a nickel to go to the movies. So my grandmother would say, hey, go get out of the house, go to the movies. Here's a nickel, go to the movies. So, you know, because she had a lot of kids and she had to worry about all these problems. So he used to go and occupy himself and go to the movies. So he loved the movies. So he took me. I had to be maybe 2, 3 years old. I don't even remember how old I was. But he took me to a movie theater that was so fabulous that it had what do they call that? You know, the old movie theaters with the marquee. So he took me in there, and it was a huge theater with balconies and everything. It was a beautiful theater. And I sat there and I saw my first movie. I don't even remember the movie. All I know is that I was mesmerized by the actors, by the people. I was seeing on a silver screen. I said to my father, I said, Daddy, are those people real? And he said, yes, honey, they're actors. And he says, Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be an actor. So tell us more about the journey of how you started from Star Wars to really love film.
Well, I always loved, from that point on, I always loved movies, but in terms of acting, I kind of fell into a shy state as a kid. And it wasn't until high school where I slowly broke out of it, where I was doing stand-up comedy in my classes in high school, where it built up, where my junior year, I got my first acting role in the school play of A Few Good Men, where I played the Jack Nicholson character in that play in my high school. So that, ever since then, led me to this moment right here. If I didn't make that transition from breaking out of my shyness to doing that, we would not be talking right now. So that's what basically got me going right there.
So was working in comedy, that prepared you to get up in front of an audience?
Exactly. Even it was weird doing it during my classes in high school, but they kind of enjoyed it because I used to do funny voices, Saturday Night Live imitations, impressions, and they loved it, my fellow students. So it led me to that big moment when I did A Few Good Men, and boom, I'm here.
So you were good at entertaining, and that's what an act is all about, entertaining.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I want to get into some of the projects that you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
For the past few years, you've been working with Dave DeSico, and that's Brian DeSico's brother, on making the Trevor franchise.
Oh, yes.
Tell my audience about the Trevor franchise. Who is Trevor, and what is this franchise all about?
Trevor the Clown is a creation that my friend Dave DeSico created several years ago, which this is what he looks like right over here. You can see a close-up. How would you like to him over for the holidays? You know, I don't think you'd want him. There's another shot of him.
Oh my God.
How are you, Cognac? How are you? How are you? That's the way he is. But our wonderful friend Trevor over here, Dave's creation, he actually created Trevor because he was going to a party, one of those, I think it was a Halloween party, and he needed a costume. So he decided to put this thing on, and everybody kept asking him at the party, what movie is that costume from? And he said, it's not from a movie, I just created it. And everybody kept saying, wow, you should make a movie or something out of it. And
that was brilliant, brilliant.
And he followed that by, we go to conventions like Chiller, Monster Mania, Comic-Cons, and he would wear the costume there, and people loved it. They would go over to him. Believe it or not, if he had a table, you know, he could have charged a lot of money for pictures and autographs and make a lot out of it because people were going over to him, including celebrities. So he was a big hit at these conventions. And even the celebrities loved taking pictures and putting it on their Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams. They all loved him. And he actually wrote a feature-length screenplay based on the Trevor character called Words. And that entered in several screenplay competition and actually won some awards. So that screenplay, which basically Words is an origin tale of how Trevor became the clown, actually got out there, and several companies and filmmakers got interested in it. However, they only wanted to get involved if me and Dave were not involved with it. Basically, they liked the script, but they didn't want me or him. Or they liked the character and did not want the screenplay. They wanted a whole new screenplay for it. And Dave, to him, Trevor is like Rocky Balboa is to Stallone. You know how that's his baby. And
Yes.
Trevor is his baby. And he has a wonderful vision for this franchise, where this character could go. Because everybody at these conventions all keep saying, this character could be as big as Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers.
Freddy Krueger, too.
Freddy Krueger.
Right.
I mean, especially at Halloween time, look at the mask and the merchandise, the toys, you know, the action figures.
Why do you think people are, clowns are scary? Why do you think people are, so, I mean, I've heard this, that clowns are scary. Kids sometimes are afraid of clowns. Why do you think that is?
I think because they kind of look like the devil, you know, in a sense, because especially the makeup, like, look at the face here, like it has a devilish type of look to it, you know. And going to me, I think after seeing the Joker last year with Joaquin Phoenix, you know, people seem to associate clowns as like devilish because of the face, the makeup, you know, they have this evil personality. But the thing about Trevor that's wonderful about the character that a lot of people don't really understand is some people think he's like the Joker or like Pennywise or like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and he's actually not that at all. And I think a lot of people, when they see the movies, would be surprised by who Trevor is. You know, why is he the clown? And because I love that Dave plays against expectations. You're expecting one thing, gives you another thing. And that's one thing about it. I wish these people, these companies and filmmakers would trust Dave's vision, because he knows the character, he knows the possibilities, where to take it from point A to point B to point C to point D. And it's a risk factor to these companies where they go, I don't know, should I put the money, invest on these kids, you know? And the thing is, Dave and I have been doing movies. He's been in a lot of movies. He's worked with Steven Spielberg in The Post. He was in that. He's worked with Martin Scorsese in The Irishman. He's been in that. And he's been on Quantico, Gotham, all these other shows. And I've been doing stuff as well. So we know what we're doing. It's a question of trust. Do they trust us? Because if they do, they will definitely get rewarded.
Well, you know what it is? You're not a big blockbuster movie star, or, you know, you're just not that, and that's what they're afraid of.
Exactly.
You know, in Hollywood, that nobody wants to take a chance anymore. That's the problem. If he was like if he was a big name, then I think they would put him in the role. But that's, you know it as well as I do. That's the reason why they don't do these things. But I wanted to ask you, what is your involvement with Trevor? Tell us behind the scenes what you're doing for the film and for the character. Tell us exactly what your role is in this project.
As a producer, I help put stuff together. Like one thing, when we saw with the companies with Works, their reaction to it, I said to Dave, let's make a short film out of, the film of Trevor. So this way we can get out to the horror film festivals, let people know what this character is really about, so there's no confusion, so people don't think it's Pennywise, Joker, or any of those other clowns. And this way they get a good idea and go, wow, I love this. I want to see more of it. And I do think that a short film of Trevor could do very well in these film festivals, especially the horror ones, that it would get people's attention to say, I want to see more. How did he become this character? And Dave agreed to do the shorts, but he did not want to do, because a lot of these short film adaptations of the features are really they're short versions of what the bigger feature is. Dave did a very smart thing. He decided, I'm not doing that. I'm going to make a short that's actually going to take place after the events of the feature-length film. So in a way, the short is kind of like a sequel. So in a way, it's kind of, nobody's really done that before in terms of, oh, I'm going to make a short and it's going to be a sequel rather than an adaptation of the actual feature Works. So Trevor, we were trying to make it this year, earlier this year, and unfortunately, thanks to the coronavirus and the shutdown.
Yeah, that seems to be everybody's problem right now. Everything is on hiatus because of that dreaded pandemic, the coronavirus, the COVID-19. I mean, we're all struggling with that, including myself. As you know, I go to a lot of charity galas and I interview a lot of philanthropists, and no one's really having any events. They're doing it virtual. I have done a lot of Zoom interviews virtually, But as far as going to galas, there's no red carpet. And as you know, we usually go to you and I, we go to the International Emmy Awards. And of course they had it, but no, there was no press allowed on the red carpet. So let's just hope that things get better and we'll be back on that red carpet again, right?
Absolutely. And
yeah, now let me ask you, you are also the voice behind the demonic character Elmo from The Curse. Elmo. Tell us how you were introduced to this character and how you ultimately got the part of Elmo.
Boy, if you asked me several years ago, would I ever voice the character of Elmo in a movie, I'd say you're crazy, because I never thought that would ever happen. And there was a casting this summer for this movie, The Curse of Elmo, directed by Eisen Cahill, who happens to be the youngest filmmaker I've ever worked with. Don't ask me his age. I don't know how old he is. But he's actually one of the stars he stars in the movie. And he came up with this idea, which to me, I think the film is kind of like a parody, especially of Child's Play, where instead of Chucky, you have Elmo, because it deals with these dolls that are going crazy and terrorizing these kids.
That's another thing that's scary. Dolls. I have dolls, you know, I'm into my house, as you can see, it's all pink, and I have, I love French provincial furniture, and I'm into French, everything's French, and I love, you know, Victorian dolls. And people like say, oh my God, that's so scary. Why are dolls scary? That's like a clown. What is it about the doll that's scary?
I guess going back to the fact that could these dolls come to life? You know, like the Toy Story effect of the thing.
Or become possessed, right?
Exactly. That's where Chucky took that off in Child's Play, where, hey, that thing was possessed and it started killing people, you know. But with The Curse of Elmo, it's basically, to me, a comedy take onto it, because of all things, it's an Elmo doll that is terrorizing this kid. And to me, I think it has a wonderful message of facing up to your fears, because this boy has to face up to his fears, and also to stand up against bullies, which to me, especially during this time where kids get bullied a lot, you know.
On social media, yeah.
Social media, and even in person in class, you know, I was bullied, you know, in school as well, so I know what that feels like. But
right, but we didn't have social media. That it's even worse now.
Absolutely, but any type of bullying, whether in person, social media, is completely unacceptable. And to me, this has a wonderful message, this film, of standing up to your fears, standing up to bullies. And in this case, it's an Elmo doll, which is the funny part of it, because it's Elmo, which you never would think about that, terrorizing you. How would you react if you were terrorized by Elmo?
You know, I have to tell you, I absolutely love that movie, Chucky. I love it. I love all the movies, you know, Chuck. I love The Bride of Chucky. I love Jennifer Tilly. It was Jennifer Tilly that played the part, right?
Brad Dourif was the voice of Chucky. I met Brad Dourif at Monster Mania.
And I love the dolls. I fell in love with the Chucky, you know, Jennifer Tilly doll, when she was the bride. I fell in love with that doll. I want that doll. I think she's just beautiful. And the way you know, the way they fixed her up with the blonde hair, with the roots, and the sexy wedding gown with the black leather jacket over it. I love that doll. I want that doll. So that's one of my next dolls I'm going to get. But I wanted to also talk to you about something else. In 2005, you created a New York City film event called Sundays in the City Marathon, which took place in the month of March. It was independent features, shorts, animation, and documentaries have all screened at this film event. Tell my audience, what inspired you to create Sundays in the City?
Well, it was because at that time period, and even now, there are a lot of problems in the film festival circuit with a lot of film festivals out there. And having gone during that time period of 2003, 2004, 2005, I saw so many problems at these film festivals, whether they were bumping films from schedules, especially last minute, losing copies, not checking copies of the films you're sent, losing posters. It was, and even the awards they were giving out, some of them they were giving out to their friends if they knew the people running it. And I saw all these problems piling up that so many friends said to me, why don't you do something about it? You know, why don't you create an event to kind of counter of how would you do a film festival? So that's where the idea of Sundays in the City came from, which was really, it was supposed to be a one-time event where I was going to do it for 1 year, but after doing it the first year, the way that I did it, where I did not give out any awards, everybody is equal, everybody is a winner. And basically it was such a wonderful environment where people could network. Because that's one of the biggest things with these film festivals is the networking.
Yeah.
You know, for the big film festivals, the famous ones, it's about which ones are going to get the Oscar nominations, which ones are going to get picked up for the distribution, which is also the same for the other smaller film festivals. But the big thing is the networking, but for also the bigger film festivals, who's on the red carpet, you know. But for in general, for a lot of these film festivals, it's networking. And I promoted it that way in a sense where this is a wonderful opportunity where you can screen your movies, and also for anybody, any actor, crew member, singer, they could actually go there and mix and mingle with these filmmakers. And this happened a lot. A lot of these filmmakers put these actors or crew members for the next movies. So they actually casted them or hired them for their next films, or took from a singer like their songs for the next movies. So
now this was a very huge undertaking, and you had, of course, you couldn't do it by yourself. You had to work with other people to help you put this together. Am I right about this?
yes, I did.
Yeah. So you eventually you stopped doing it.
Unfortunately, yes, because the only reason why I continued after 1 year was because I saw that it helped people, and people were thanking me like crazy, like, thank you for having the event. It really helped me out. You know, I got casted in this movie, or this filmmaker, you know, was able to meet certain other people that they were able to work with for the next movie. So because it helps so many people, I decided to continue it from year to year. But the thing is, starting from the first year, I would produce it with a whole group of different people. And unfortunately, I had issues with some of these people because we were not on the same page. And to do an event like that, you need to be on the same page.
A lot of times people expect more than what they think, you know, they're going to get out of it, or sometimes it's just too overwhelming. And it takes a lot of energy to do what you did, with how you put this together and how you help so many filmmakers and actors connect. I mean, isn't that also like the conventions? Don't you do a lot of networking in the when you go to these conventions as well?
Because that's all about networking. And that's a lot of the virtual film festivals now, because it's all online. You're missing that interaction. You can't see the audience, you know, you can't interact with that audience there.
I know. I like doing the Zoom interviews like what I'm doing with you. I do enjoy it very much, but I do miss going to the event, I have to say. I mean, it's so exciting. You're at an event, it's a red carpet, there's actors, there's celebrities, there's all kinds of fabulous people. And then, of course, there's a party, you know, so I do miss that.
I'm not done with you yet. I'm coming for you.
Don't you dare touch me. Oh, no. Why should I witness this?
Your meat charger is an asshole.
Your meat charger makes you wear ugly plastic over your gorgeous metal frame. Professional golfers, when they start out, have a hard time.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
What type of species goes to ensure their own demise? So I see them as less than human. Big fucking deal. Why do you really want this apartment?
I think it's time for me to leave now, so I'm gonna go.
Sit down.
No, I don't feel comfortable with... Oh
Do me a favor.
God.
Sit the fuck down!
Why are you doing
You had a
this?
wonderful Sweet 16. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why are you...
It's a really pretty smile.
Thank you. I'm gonna make myself comfortable then.
Well, it's your home. Mi casa su casa. My house is now your house.
What are you gonna do now?
Well, basically, I guess at midnight I'm gonna leave.
You're gonna leave. Where are you gonna go?
She could have gotten her fired. She was never my teacher. Did you ever find out why she decided to have an affair? She fell in love with me. Did she say that? No. But you told her that you loved her? Yes.
Could it be that her husband was cheating on her and that prompted the affair, not your wonderful essay?
What?
I never get complaints from none of my customers. We think there's a supermarket you can just go and return stuff? Nah, man.
You smoking.
You already smoked half of it.
You don't get no refunds. That'll be the stuff I'm coming back for you and your girlfriend. You hear me?
My girlfriend. Great. So did you get my headshot from my agent Cat?
Cat.
Total Cat. Girl, didn't even call me again. That chicken head.
I like it. What that did you like it?
I like.
But I just want my audience to know, are you working on anything right now that we should know about? I know you're working on Trevor, the franchise, but is there anything else that you would like to tell my audience that's important that you need to let them know? Because we're going to be closing the interview now.
Absolutely. I have a voiceover role in an animated web series coming out next year. It's called End of Titus, as you can see right here.
Wow.
And I'm actually the voice of this character, Robert. This is an action-adventure series. It's going to be released next year. We're recording the episodes as we speak. I've seen a couple of them. They look amazing. Delmar Burkett is the genius behind this. And this, to me, feels like one of those old-fashioned serials, in a sense, you know, like the 1966, I think, Adam West Batman show, where, you know, it always ends with a cliffhanger where you tune in next time, same Bat channel, same Bat place.
Well, that was the draw to get the people to want to come back and watch a new episode the following week. You know, that was their gimmick to do that, which is great. This is great.
And it's going to be in 2021, one episode per month from what I've been told.
And where can we see it?
It's going to be online, I think possibly YouTube or a website. I'm not sure yet because we're still making it. And I can't wait. It's going to be about, I think, around 10 minutes per each episode. So it's exciting, and it's.
I look forward to that. Now, Solomon, I want you to tell my audience, where can we go to find more information about your sexy self? Do you have a website? Do you have a
Absolutely.
Facebook?
Before I forget, here's the websites for Trevor. It's on Instagram, Trevor Horror Movie, and Twitter, Trevor Horror MO6. Plus on Facebook, you just type in search Trevor, not a business. You can find it there. And thanks to this virus, I finally got on to the social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Solomon Chertok, SOLOMONCHERTOK, and even you can see my bio on imdb.com. So it took a virus to get me on for so many years. You kept asking me that. Finally, I can say Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the big
Solomon, I love you. And thank you so much for being a guest. Happy Hanukkah, Solomon. And thank you for being on Cognac's Corner. And darlings, have a very, very merry, pink champagne Christmas.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my interview with filmmaker Solomon Chertok. Keep watching, darlings. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and always press the notification button. I always publish a video every Sunday or every Monday. Happy holidays and have a very, very pink, merry pink champagne Christmas.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I enjoy cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. This has been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.